All right. All right, calling this meeting to order of the Kaimuki Neighborhood Board number 4. Happy New Year, everyone. The time now is 6:30 p.m., January 15th. First order of business is we do have a vacancy on our board in Subdistrict 2, which is generally Wilhelmina Rise. If there are any volunteers to fill this position, either here in person or online via WebEx, if you can indicate your interest in volunteering. Anybody online? See anybody online, Jeffrey? No? Okay. Seeing no volunteers at this time, we will defer that to the next meeting. All right, city and state monthly reports. First off, we have the Honolulu Fire Department who are here with us this evening. Welcome. Thanks for coming out.
Good evening. My name is Firefighter Cole Brame, Ladder 5, second watch from Kaimuki Fire Station. I'm just going to be going over some safety tips and our incident statistics from December of last year. As far as fires go, we had no structure, wildland, or cooking fires. We had 1 nuisance and 4 activated alarms, but no fire. Emergencies, we had 33 medical, 3 motor vehicle crashes, 1 hazardous materials, and no motor vehicle with pedestrian, no mountain rescue or ocean rescues. Our fire safety tip is appliance and electrical safety. Just minimizing electrical fire risks in your home with just a couple of these tips here. Electrical work should only be performed by a qualified electrician. Just make sure you check your electrical cords if they are cracked or damaged. Just make sure you replace them. Do not overload your wall outlets or power strips, and use certified power strips that meet safety standards. Extension cords should not be used long term. They're only designed for temporary usage. And make sure you follow the manufacturer's instructions for all the appliances that you have. And if you have any questions or you want any more information or safety tips, and checklists, you can visit fire.honolulu.gov.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions for the Honolulu Fire Department on the monthly report, the statistics, and the fire safety tips? In person or online? Any questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much for coming out. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to move on to the Honolulu Police Department monthly report.
Hi, good evening. Lieutenant Nishimura from HPD District 7, East Honolulu. The following are the statistics for the month of December 2024. Motor vehicle theft 15, burglary 10, theft 27, UEMV or car break-ins 13, with total calls for service 5,865. Our safety tip for the month is pedestrian and driver safety. For pedestrians, please use marked crosswalks or cross at street corners. Look left, right, and left again for vehicular traffic, so check both ways before you step into the roadway. Yield to approaching vehicles while crossing the street, even if you do have the right of way. For drivers, stay focused and alert for pedestrians at all times. Stop for pedestrians in a crosswalk. Look out for pedestrians who may be hidden from view by other vehicles that have stopped. And lastly, obey the speed limits and never drive under the influence of drugs or alcohol. And that's our report for the month. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Lieutenant. Any questions for the Honolulu Police Department on the monthly report, statistics, and the safety tips? Any questions? I see Lori Yamada's hand up. Lori? Lori, are you there?
Gotcha. I got to press the bottom button. Okay. Happy New Year. On January 8th, last Wednesday, there was an accident or something, 16th and Wailea area. Do you know anything what that was about?
No, I'm sorry, I don't have the details for that accident.
Okay.
I can find on and follow up for you.
Yeah, could you? Because there's been always accidents over there. It's either that or, near the highway, maybe 17th or something, but I saw the traffic being stopped from 15th Avenue because I can see 15th and Wildlife from where I live. And there was backup and police cars and stuff.
I can find
So-
out. Get
okay.
information back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions for the Honolulu Police Department? Person online, okay, seeing none. Thank you very much, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you for
great
coming out. Appreciate it. All right, our next report is from the Board of Water Supply. Is Lorna Heller on? Okay, any other representative from the Board of Water Supply? Okay, seeing none, we'll defer that for January. Okay, next item of business is public input. This is generally limited to 3 minutes each. This is an opportunity for the community to comment on items that are not on our agenda in terms of any community issues or concerns. And I do see Carol Hoshiko raising her hand. Carol, go ahead.
Hello, Chair, members of the board. I do have an update about the Culinary Institute of the Pacific, if you have a couple of minutes.
Yes, absolutely. And I think we have your slides, so we'll put those up.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's been a little while, I think, since I've given you a report, so a lot has progressed. I'll give you a summary at first, and then I'll show you some pictures. So you can go to the next slide. The restaurant building itself is complete. They're finalizing some items on the roof. The restaurant interior is 98% complete, and what's called the punch list, they're checking the items, so they're going through with a punch list. It's like a checklist to see, if things have been done appropriately, completely, and so on. Restaurant kitchen is 95% complete with a punch list being checked. The auditorium interior is 98% complete. Punch list is being gone over. The Innovation Center interior is 98% complete, and they're going through the punch list again. Site work is 95% complete, with the punch list being reviewed, and the current contract work is supposed to be completed by the end of this month. And then additional out of contract changes, there are some changes that are have been requested. So those are supposed to be completed by the fall of 25. So we can go to some of the photos very quickly. This is an aerial photo of the entire site. And this is very recent. I asked for these photographs, and thankfully, there was a contracted photographer that was able to do this with a drone. This is the entire campus up there. The next photo is looking towards Kaimuki, view of the auditorium, which is at the left, and the back of the restaurant on the right. The next photograph is actually looking towards Diamond Head at the restaurant auditorium building. And then this one here is looking towards Diamond Head at the restaurant auditorium building entrance on the left end. And then the final photograph is another view of the Culinary Innovation Center interior punch list is going on right now. And then, the roundabout that you see on the last, oh yeah, the photo you're looking at right now is the Innovation Center. And I guess that's, oops, yours is in a different order than mine, but that's it. That's the building that you can see. It's located right next to those labs that I'm pretty sure a lot of you have been seeing for the past couple of years or so, but this one is complete now. It was originally going to be a baking and patisserie lab, but they've decided that this center would be a place where new products could be developed and so on. Okay, so that's my report for this evening. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Carol. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thanks for the update. Any questions for Carol? KCC? All right. Seeing none. Thanks again, Carol. Thanks for
You're
the
quite
update.
welcome.
All right. Any other public input this evening? Person or online? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to community updates and a update, if any, from the Kaimuki Business and Professional Association. I guess we have Calvin here tonight. Let's see, is Ivan or Tuchan on? No? Okay. Yeah, thanks, Calvin.
Thank you, board. Like to extend to everybody here for supporting the Kaimuki Christmas Parade that was held on December 5th, including our board who participated in the parade. And the city and county of Honolulu, they gave great support. Of course, with HPD, the ever famous Honolulu Fire Department ladder truck. I think there were about 50 plus city employees that participated in the parade. So appreciate that, along with another 40, approximately 40 other groups from the schools to nonprofit organizations and some businesses. We want to highlight that the Grand Marshal for the parade was our recently retired council member, Calvin Say. I've never seen him smile so much, so he really enjoyed it. But again, thank you for the community. And for me, being one of the chairs, is that this is the most audience I've seen in the parade, sitting on the sidewalk, standing. I think it just reflects Kaimuki, Palolo area with residents who just want to come out, enjoy a nice community parade with their, as an adult or as a kid, and also reflect on the memories of the parade, which again started back in 1946. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Calvin. Just wanted to comment that thanks for organizing the parade. It's a terrific community event. The board did have a small but very active contingent at the parade. Just wanted to give a shout out to the neighborhood commission office as well for kind of helping us out and giving us some candy canes and things to pass out. So thanks for coming out. Any questions for the Kaimuki Business and Professional Association? All right, seeing none, thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to presentations and discussions this evening. First up, we have the Hawaii Bicycling League monthly report by Eric McCutcheon. Eric, take it away.
Excellent. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back. So we have been talking about micro-mobility, alternatives to one person, one car going 1, 2, or 3 miles. And more exactly, we've been looking at 2 bills. So on the left, Bill 52, again, thank you, Augie and Tyler, for keeping the conversation going on those devices. And Bill 61, thank you, Matt and Radiant, for keeping the conversation going on those activities on our roads, which you can see often on Wildlife, right? Next slide. So Bill 52, relating to electric bicycles, they were hoping to pass this bill before Christmas, anticipating a lot of kids getting a lot of e-bikes for Christmas. But the action that happened is it did pass second reading in October, but it was referred from the old Transportation Committee to the new Planning and Infrastructure and Transportation Committee. So that's where it is now. But it's nice to know that the testimony that you can look online, there's really no opposition, and support has been given by the Bicycling League, Ulupono Initiative, AARP, and our own Resiliency Climate. So it's moving. It's moving. We'll see. And again, hopefully it will make the bikes themselves safer, the way they're ridden safer, and protect kids' heads up to 18 safer. The second bill we talked about, next slide, is Bill 61. That's relating to wheelies. So the text of that bill defines wheelie as raising the front wheel off of the ground. So specifically looking at that stunt behavior. And it has passed its first reading and also has been re-referred from the old transportation department to the new transportation department. So again, it is moving. And again, nice to see, if you look at testimony, the 0 opposition and at least 9 citizens had put support for that bill last I checked. So these 2 bills are moving, but you know, the wheels of government move slowly. Waiting 2 months for that joke. But until then, remember, it's not always about the law, or if it is, there's just one to remember, that last slide, that we all have the right to be safe on our roads. So please ride and drive with aloha. That's it. Mahalo.
All right. Thanks very much, Eric. Appreciate it. Question. Go ahead.
Mr. Willie still wants to do.
My understanding is it would give just police a documented way of recognizing that that is unallowed behavior. That makes sense?
Cite
Correct.
cites of people or
Correct.
All right. Any other questions for Eric McCutcheon and the Hawaii Bicycle League? All right.
Thank you.
Seeing none. Thank you. Thanks, Eric. Okay, so our next order of business, we're fortunate to have a presentation on a proposal for a Kyu Dojo, which is a Japanese archery practice facility at Maumai Nature Park. And so I'm going to call upon Robert DeWitts for that presentation. Thank you and welcome.
Aloha. I wasn't aware of the high tech and I probably screwed up anyway, so I have some few hard copies here you can pass out. My name is Bob DeWitts. I'm here representing the Honolulu Foundation, which is about a 20-year-old Hawaii nonprofit whose mission is to bring to Hawaii some of the lesser known elements of Japanese culture, one of which is traditional Japanese archery or Kyudo. And we're also very fortunate to have with us tonight the Haradas, who represent the Hawaii Kyudo Kai, which since 1908 has been keeping that tradition alive here in Hawaii. So obviously they have a vested interest in this dojo as well. So last fall, I approached the administration, the mayor's office, and proposed that Honolulu Foundation design, build, and donate to the city a Japanese archery facility if the city could find some land. And the land that we suggested, because of its configuration and isolation, was Maumai Nature Park. And the mayor and the managing director embraced it, thought it was a great idea. I'm continuing to work with the mayor's office on the legal structure that would allow this to take place. And the key thing is that the nonprofit entity would continue to operate the facility and maintain it in ongoing years to ensure that it was operated safely with a trained range master and safety precautions and all of those sorts of things in place. So a little bit about Kyudojo. Like all the Japanese martial arts, you practice in a dojo. So if it's Kyudo, you have a Kyudojo. Kyudojo is a very simple structure. It's a small open-faced shooting gallery. Because the archers practice in tabi, socks, you don't want to be doing it on the ground, so it's a nice polished smooth floor, theoretically. And typically you would have 6 archers lined up abreast shooting across a 100-foot open grassway range to a set of targets that are under a open-faced shed, target shed. So the shooting gallery is called the shajo. The target shed is called matoba, and the grass strip in between is yamichi. So its total footprint is about 7,500 square feet, something like that. And why do we need one? Well, if you're as old as I am, you can remember that the city used to allow practice of this at Kapi'olani Park. And there was an incident and they shut it down. And the city built a Western archery range out in Hawaii Kai, but there is no Japanese archery range in the entire state of Hawaii that's public. And so we would like to bring that to us. We believe that Kyudo is a mental, physical, and moral discipline that helps the individuals become better people. And we think that through that discipline being spread across more of our citizens, that we can build a better community. We truly believe that. And part of our longer term mission is to set up some outreach to particularly high school and college students, not really suitable for young kids, but students, to get them involved in this, a discipline, a practice, a moral guidance. So, in Japan, we of course have Kyudo Kai, who's been doing this for 125 years or so. Almost. And latent practitioners. There's 24,000 Japanese expats in Hawaii, in Honolulu. There's lots of them who did archery. It's a huge sport in Japan. Collegiate, high school level, all of that. And then students and newcomers, all these new people we want to bring in. So I think there's a real need and demand for it. There's no place to do it right now. You'll see it better on the big blueprint I have later, but it sort of looks like this: a target house, open grass, shed, target shed. Nothing too fancy. I'll show you the footprint of the proposed site at the park on the bigger blueprint. And before we get to that, maybe a little bit about the community impact. First, like a doctor, do no harm. We intend to have parking, so it won't impact any street parking. It is a silent sport. If you make any noise in a dojo, a Kyudojo, you may get shot with an arrow. It's a silent sport. It's very disciplined, very quiet. It's not a spectator sport. Limited number of participants, 6 archers at a time. I wouldn't imagine more than 20 people at a session. And fairly limited hours are proposed initially, maybe 12 hours a week. So not a huge impact on the community. Very quiet, traffic, parking issues. But then I think there are benefits. When we met with Department of Parks and Recreation, they indicated there was concern in the community about wildfire hazard. By constructing this facility, one, we're going to eliminate a lot of that scrub brush that's there, clean it out, make access into the rest of that area. Plus, we'll make our irrigation system available. So hopefully we can tie up with the people who want to do the planting and the trees there, so that there'll be a means of, irrigating the trees and, making that part of it go ahead. So we see this as kind of being synergistic to taking that piece of scrubland right now and kind of making it productive for the community. The previous proposal to do this 20-some years ago, which Lori was kind enough to spark our memory of, I did some research on that, and the issue back then was safety, because what was being proposed was really an open range that could be used at all times by all people. This is a totally different concept. We will manage this facility. It will only be used under the control of a certified range master. It will be enclosed, fenced. Safety will not be an issue. So, show and tell. Okay, if I stand up here. Here, so since you're in the neighborhood,
If it'll help, why don't you stand here, face the camera, and then we can look on the screen to see what's on the camera. Yeah, no, face the camera.
Oh, okay.
Because then we can see the screen that's there, and then people online can see.
Okay, yeah. So 16th Avenue comes up here and moves around, right? Goes up the hill. And this is the existing park area.
You can grab the mic so people online can hear you as well, sorry.
Yep.
gyration a little bit, but I can hear you.
So the existing parkland down here is undeveloped, right? It's just open area with no facilities on it. There's one water spigot there, but other than that, I think it's mostly used for dog walking and wild chicken growing there. And so what we propose is this currently undeveloped area that goes way up here to the road, and this is a cliff on the backside, is to clear out this scrub brush and build the dojo over in this corner of it. And then there'll be some parking abutting 16th Avenue. The green area that you see there is really open grass, so that's not structure. Actually, should I go up there and point it out?
Yeah, point there because people online can then see your finger. Yeah, put on the board that you've been doing.
So this green area is actually grass area. This is the open part of the range. This is the little target shed. And this is the kind of the shooting gallery with restrooms and changing rooms. So the actual structural footprint is not very big in terms of land area. A lot of that is the grass area. And then, yeah, this little piece down here, the yellow plot sort of shows it in an aerial view overlaid against the whole rest of that park area. And you can see it's all kind of, if you've been up there, it's scrub brush, it's kiawe trees, and you can't even walk through it. So that's our proposal to the city. The administration is strongly in favor of it. When I presented it to the mayor, he jumped on it. I was told the managing director liked it as well. We don't see any downsides for the community. We see upsides, but we're here to learn and to listen. And by the way, this will all be funded by private money, both initial construction and ongoing operation.
All right, thank you.
Oh, and yeah, my wife pointed out to me, included in the design of the facility is a multi-use capability. So there'll be a meeting room, probably about this size. And so it'll be available for the community for meetings like that. Plus the open grass area we envision as being a great place to practice hula, maybe a little tiny farmer's market. I don't know, nice place to have a little community gathering. So I think it will have a multi-use for the community as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Bob. Appreciate it. Any questions? Becky, you have a question?
Hi, yes, thank you for that presentation. Well, comment and question, comment, everything I hear about this, I'm just like, yes, let's go for it. Because that's the park closest to where I live now. I've been here for 2 years and I've really tried to embrace it and relax in it. But I just feel like the bugs and the dryness, the brush is just, I don't have a dog anymore. So like, I don't spend time there. It's not a place that I really enjoy being and I wish I did. But I did feel like this would be a good space for like a driving range. But hearing this plan, I feel like this is perfect, especially with the deep Japanese roots here. And, you know, it's not noisy. It's not going to be like, maybe there's an alternative to the shooting range over by Cocoa Head because, you know, I hate it when they start up in the morning there. Maybe those guys can do this. I have a question, like a question about the process, because this sounds like could be a really good model for public-private partnership with the county. But I don't see a lot of it. I know there's like vendors over at Kapiolani Park, but you know, in Ala Moana, but this seems like a new thing. So I'm just wondering, what does it look like? You have to go through the city council, like what's the process for that? And then I don't know who knows here. But then my general question is this the same sport as Zen in the Art of Archery, the book, that famous book?
Sorry, what was your last question?
Zen in the Art of Archery. It's the same
There's
sport.
a book, Zen in the Art of Archery.
Yeah, sometimes people call it Zen archery, but yes.
It's the same one. Okay, cool. It's on my bookshelf, never read it, but
With regard to the process, that's where we're at in our discussions with the city right now. The state statute that governs concessions in public lands has a special provision for nonprofits. So for example, the Honolulu Zoo. So a dedicated nonprofit entity can legally enter into a direct negotiation with the city. And, you know, it's not a competitive thing because nobody's making any money out of it, right? So there's no chance for graft, corruption, those sorts of things. So there is a very specific vehicle for this, and that's what we're working with corporate counsel on now. And hopefully we can get that wrapped up sooner rather than later. But as a gentleman spoke earlier, the wheels of government move very slowly.
I thought it was a good joke. So yeah, I support this. Let us know how we can further support you, maybe down the road with a resolution or something as you move forward. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Becky. Paul, you had a question?
Would it be only limited to Japanese archery?
It's really not suitable for Western archery. The facility's different, the ranges are different.
So it would be limited to just Japanese archery?
Japanese, or you know, other sports that would fit there, like kendo. You could practice kendo, you could practice judo, those sorts of things, but not like Western archery. I don't think it would be a good fit.
Okay. I'm just trying to get a sense of it's great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's just one of those, it's a segment of all the archery types that are out there. So if it's only limited to that, I mean, I don't want my 2-year-old going out there with a bow and arrow, don't get me wrong, but those people that have and don't want to go to Hawaii Kai because it's too far and or too crowded, if this is an alternate or an option for them, that'd be great. But it sounds like that's not an option then.
Yeah, you know, I'd have to look at it, but you know, the whole thing with compound bows and really strong bows and things like that, I'm not sure it's suitable. I can
Consider if there's something you could do, just not compound bow. I mean, there's other things you do other than compound bows that aren't Japanese.
Yeah, let me.
I mean, it's a thought I'm planting. I'm not saying to do.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, it sounds like a good idea. Progress forward. Keep, like Becky said, involved and aware of what you guys are doing. Just curious if it's more than just that one segment of the.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Well, online. Okay. Well, you had a question?
Yes, aloha. Thank you so much for the presentation. It sounds like a great project to have and something different that brings culture to our environment and our community. I really appreciate that. You were saying that you're going to have a master or a person that's going to be in charge of the facility. What kind of hours were you looking at for time of this place to be open? And also, like, have you already start the process of like getting going through the Department of Planning and Permitting for permitting yet, or?
Initially, we're looking at perhaps 12 hours a week, which would maybe be, you know, one evening session from like maybe 7 to 9 during the weekday, and then a Saturday session and maybe a Sunday afternoon session. But that's not set in stone. But right now, probably 12 hours a week to start, and then see where we go from there. In terms of planning and permitting, since we're spending our private money, we haven't turned our architects too far ahead of the city, waiting for the legal side to get done. But our architect has done the preliminary drawing, as you've seen, has gone through the records and found there's no environmental impact study needed because of this prior master plan that already looked at that issue. And generally finds the site to be very suitable for the use. So our architect is working actively. We're meeting with him on Thursday to refine the design a little further.
I have one more question, Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's okay. Thank you so much for that information. I also would like to ask, because it's going to be kind of a public-private collaboration, like what Member Becky was saying. You guys are going to be doing lessons, and also like if people already have that expert lessons, you guys are going to be doing it there, doing like maybe a possible membership for that, or like just if I could ask.
So we absolutely need and want to have a method for anybody and everybody to use a facility. So we envision a a training and pre-qualification program. If you want to shoot there, first you have to go through the safety training and the basic qualification trainings. Then you have to have the necessary gear, and we'll have some gear available that can be used or borrowed, so that everybody, you know, from somebody who's just got a mild interest in it to the experts who've already, you know, 8th degree, can come and use it. So we want to build that capacity in there to bring neophytes in.
Thank you so much for your answers. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do support this project. I think it's going to be really good for the environment, especially because it's a quiet sport. I think it'd be fantastic. Mahalo.
All right, thanks, Boa.
Just a
Audrey, you
quick
have a question? Go ahead.
Okay. So just a quick question. As far as the parking, and by the way, I appreciate archery. I took it in college, so I really appreciate the art. The parking, is it going to be, do you know how much parking is going to be? Is it going to be on the premises, and then is it like asphalt open parking, and how many stalls will there be?
So right now we're looking at 20 stalls. It will be between the dojo and 16th Avenue. So kind of along the bottom of the strip there. And our hope and our plan, we haven't gotten that far with the architect though, is to preserve as many of the existing trees as possible and just sort of fit the parking underneath the trees to keep it kind of shielded from the view, so it's not just a big ugly parking lot. We hope so.
All right. Any last question online or in person? All right. Oh, go ahead.
The city advised me to come to this council as that forum to do that. So I'm here ready to learn and take away lessons.
Calvin.
Yes, it will have restrooms, but the restrooms won't be open to the public. They'll be just for that use. And that was interesting because I was on site one day and one of the neighbors came up and said, "You're going to have restrooms?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "I hope they're not going to be open to the public because they'll attract homeless people." So we've had 3 meetings with Department of Parks and Rec, including with the area supervisor, Power, I think her name is, but they're supportive of it.
All right. Well, oh, Laurie, you have a question? Last question or comment?
Well, yeah, thank you again, Brian, for giving this presentation. It's really a nice plan and stuff because Mount My Park's been through how many, visions and, plans and plantings and stuff like that. So if you guys can pull this off, more credit to everyone, and for the benefit for everyone. The thing I would caution is you should go around the neighborhood, direct neighbors and do a survey, talk to them and, tell them what this is about. In fact, Dan Donnell from Trees for Honolulu's Future did that, exactly that 2 years ago. Well, now 3 years ago. And most of the neighbors said they just like it as it is, a quiet, passive park, So you might, have some pushback on getting it finally done, yeah. But I would recommend you get approval from the direct neighbors because they're the ones that are going to be impacted by more people, more traffic, and by having parking available to the public, you might have people hanging out there, even though you put a chain, will be right. So yeah, good luck.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Uh-huh.
All right. Thank you, Laurie. So we're going to have to move on, but thank you very much for the information, the presentation. If you don't mind, as plans are firmed up and things are progressing, would you mind coming back and kind of updating us on how things are going?
We'd love to. So maybe we can get some help pushing the city along.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for coming out. Okay, so we're going to move back to the agenda item for the Board of Water Supply, because I believe Lorna is on. Lorna, are you there?
I'm here. I'm so sorry that I'm messing up your guys' agenda.
Oh, not a problem. Good. Glad to hear from you.
Yeah, no, Happy New Year, everybody. My name is Lorna. I'm from the Board of Water Supply. I have this quick announcements as usual. We had two main breaks for December. One was on the 18th, 8-inch on Sierra Drive. The other one on the 30th, which is a 6-inch on Mahina Avenue. The announcement I have for this month is about home water audits. So the Board of Water Supplies, Water Wisdom offer tools to help customers conserve water and detect leaks. And so through this program, you can learn how to perform a home water audit to ensure your fixtures and appliances meet low flow standards, and also to identify leaks that waste water. If you go to our website, www.boardofwatersupply.com/water wisdom, you can watch some short videos on conducting your own water audit. Also, we do have free water audit bags available at the Board of Water Supply Public Service Building. So encourage you folks all, if you're in that area, come by and get your free audit bag. That is all I have for this announcement. Does anybody have questions?
All right. Thanks, Lorna. Any questions for the Board of Water Supply in terms of the report incidents and the events, reminders? Any question? All right. Seeing none. Thank you very much, Lorna. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we're going to move on back to the agenda on elected officials reports. First up, we have Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative. Do we have a representative from the mayor?
You do. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
All right. Thanks very much. It's my first trip here. So my name is Brian McKee. I am the I guess Mark Wong used to be the representative. I'm the new Chief Information Officer and Director of IT. And if Lorna's still on, I'd like to say hi to her because I used to work with her, and when I was at the board a long time ago. Hi, Lorna.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. I saw your name. I'm like, oh, good, Lorna. So I'll be taking over for Mark, and this will be my normal station here. I'll be with you guys coming up, and I was excited to get this one because everybody told me, oh, this is the best one. This is the best board. You can go to any neighborhood board, but you gotta, Kaimuki's the best. So I'd like to go over the mayor's highlights from his newsletter. We had a really eventful since the last time you guys have met. There's been a lot of things going on. The Eddy, of course, was run. We had the big wave contest on the North Shore, and I'd like to put out the kudos for the city lifeguards and the firefighters and some first responders as they controlled traffic, and they didn't have any offshore incidences. It ran pretty smooth. Traffic was heavy, but wasn't too bad. So kudos to everybody involved. City and County of Honolulu announces a new landfill site on Oahu. You guys probably heard about that in the news. This is kind of, when this went to print, we had announced that there was a new landfill site. Now that's kind of up in the air. The city council was meeting on it just yesterday. There's been some testimony from the Board of Water Supply and the managing director's office. So now they're talking about some different options. So this will become clear, I think, as we move forward. One thing I do want to thank the mayor for is to not kick the can down the road. He's one of those people that tries to make the tough decisions, and I'm sure we'll come to clarity on this issue. Mayor Blangiardi honored Councilmember Calvin Say, who has gone mentioned here already. He served for nearly 5 decades of public service, and that was really something. So it's kind of nice that he made it to your celebration. And then we want to announce that the 40th Honolulu City Lights celebration is wrapped up. Thousands came out and enjoyed the displays. It was a big success this year. And then the city won a $2 million grant for affordable housing. That development is going to be in Evile. A lot of these items can be found in the mayor's newsletter. If anybody doesn't have it, it's www.honolulu.gov/mayor/newsletter. And I'm here to take any questions on anything that I might have gone over or anything that you guys have of interest.
All right. Thank you very much, Brian. We're very glad that you're able to join us and represent the mayor. Any questions for Brian, the mayor's representative? Person or online? All right. Seeing none. Thank you very much, Brian. Thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it and look forward to you joining us, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so we're going to move on to City Council Chair Tommy Waters' office. Adam, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair and members of the board. Adam Du from Council Chair Tommy Waters' office. I would like to introduce Kevin Imanaka. He's Chair Waters' new senior advisor. He's not new to the City Council. He has been previously our Director of Communications for the City Council. So we're really excited to work more directly with Kevin. We have a lot of exciting things planned for the city. I believe Kaimuki is Kevin's neighborhood board district. He lives in the district, not too far, walking distance. So welcome. Thank you, Director McKee. Chair Waters did meet with the IT director. Again, very excited working with him. I'd like to congratulate Representative Jackson Siyama on your opening day today. Also would like to thank Calvin Hara and the Kaimuki Business and Professional Association for their successful Kaimuki Christmas parade, as always. And then lastly, I just wanted to mention, as we said, we do have a new council member, Councilmember Scott Nishimoto. However, it's been brought to my attention, Councilmember Says and now Councilmember Nishimoto's, their district actually is not in Kaimuki, so they would no longer be represented at this board. But so for any city needs, please our office or the mayor's representative. Let's see. I do have some exciting news. You might have seen it at Petrie Community Park. DPR, Division of Urban Forestry, has planted new trees around Petrie Community Park. Thank you also from Daniel Donnell and Trees for Kaimuki. This is a great example of a constituent coming to our office and saying, hey, we would like some more tree cover at this great park. So we worked with DPR and we got some trees around that park. Some legislation or information that I feel this board would be particularly interested in is Resolution 25-1, and that's the adoption of the Oahu Vision Zero Action Plan by the Department of Transportation Services. Honolulu averages 1 traffic-related death per week. The goal for this plan is to eliminate all traffic-related deaths and severe injuries. This resolution will be heard this Thursday at the Transportation Committee. Secondly, there will be an informational briefing for the Public Safety Committee, also on Thursday. And that's an update on the enforcement of fireworks regulations for the city and county of Honolulu. Lastly, the council's budget is coming up. So if this board or the community would have any capital improvement project funds that would like Chair Waters to include in our district budget, please let us know. And it's something we can talk about and eventually add to our council budget. With that, I'm happy to bring back any questions to Chair Waters.
All right. Any questions for Chair Waters' office in terms of the monthly reports, either in person or online? Any questions? All right. Seeing none. Thank you very much, Adam. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Okay. So As Adam mentioned, Councilmember Nishimoto's district does not overlap with this neighborhood board, but Councilmember Nishimoto is kind enough to reach out to me just to let me know that if the board does have any questions or concerns that involves Councilmember Nishimoto's district or office, he'd be glad to reach back out to us at any time. So I appreciated that. Okay, so we're going to move on to Josh Green's, Governor Josh Green's representative. Is Amanda Stevens or the governor's representative online? Hi, Amanda. Are you there?
All right. I'm in the office and it's kind of glitchy here.
Yeah, it's a
So
little
thank
glitchy,
you.
but we can go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead.
So I'm here. What I'm gonna do is turn off my camera because you might be able to hear me better. Okay. Thank you so much. So as you opening day of the state legislature, we wanted to also let you know if you wanted to watch it. If you missed it, it's on YouTube. There is the newsletter that is on the I tried putting it in the chat, but it's not allowing me to put anything in the chat. And so if you can take a look at it when you have a chance, that would be great. The newsletter includes with the NARES initiatives to support leaders. The DLIR empowers future workforce across the, as always, taking time to celebrate and a lot of press releases that went out, especially there's there's been an increase to the income limits, so more families will qualify for preschool open doors subsidies, and there's been some increases to eligibility for Medicaid, and that's some good news that we're happy to share. And I'm happy to take any questions back.
All right. Thank you very much, Amanda. Any questions for the governor's representative, Amanda Stevens? All right. Seeing none. Thank you very much, Amanda. Thanks for the report. Okay, we're going to move on to State Senator Stanley Chang or his representative. Anyone online? All right. Seeing none. We'll move on to State Senator Leslie Hara or his representative. Anyone online? Oh. Senator, are you on?
How is that?
Yes, that's good.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna move you over here. I'm still, good evening. I'm gonna give you a quick report. As you know, the legislature started today. We have probably several hundred bills already introduced. I am on the referral committee. So we'll be reviewing, there's a 3-person referral committee, and we'll be reviewing all the bills introduced and assign each bill to the committees to review the bills. I'm majority policy leader, and I'm on the Labor Committee and Hawaiian Affairs Committee. Much of my work is focused on conference committee period, where it's collaboration between the House and Senate. So I work with leaders in the House and Senate and try to foster collaboration as much as possible. The next deadline would be 4 weeks from this Friday. It's the first lateral deadline after the bills are introduced. And that deadline, February 14th, is for the subject matter committee. So typically, many bills are reviewed by a subject matter committee and then a review committee. Broader subject matter committees would be dealing with environment, health, and so forth. And the review committees would be dealing with like money chairs. Ways and Means would be look at the broad financial and resource perspective for the Senate. The Consumer Protection would be deal with the Senate's view of commerce and consumer protection, the markets. And then our judiciary deals with legal issues. So those are the review committees. We call them A bracket, and they'll come next. Now for the deadline for February 14th, by February 7th, the week before Friday, is when, in the Senate at least, the bills need to be scheduled for the hearing the following week, because the following week is a deadline. We've just started, so you may pick up interest as we go along, as you read and so forth. And so I want to let you know that my number, my staff is, I have 2 full-time staff and another additional staff during the session. And our number is 808-586-6250. And my office manager is Melissa Von Boris. Her email is m.bomvoris@capital.hawaii.gov. It's on the website. We're easy to find, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. The neighborhood board area that is in my Senate district is somewhat limited now because of the new maps. And so it's Monolani Heights mainly, and some parts of Kaimuki that are part of this neighborhood board area. So we'd be happy to work with the board, and I'll try to come up as much as possible, which is really important now, but it's also the busiest time also. So if there are leadership meetings, I may have to miss. So, but you can be in touch with my staff, Melissa. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Senator. Any questions for Senator Ihara? All right. Seeing none. Thank you very much, Senator. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. All right. Let's see. We have, is State Representative Tina Grandieri or her representative online? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to Representative Jackson Sayama. Welcome.
Hello, Chair, members of the board, members of the committee. Okay, I won't touch that. As Senator said, today was opening day, and so there were a lot of festivities, grand speeches, and I think generally a very optimistic tone in the House with a new change in leadership with Speaker Nakamura and Vice Speaker Ichiyama, as well as Representative Todd from Hilo as Majority Caucus Leader and Quinlan from North Shore as the Majority Leader. For myself, I have been assigned to the chairmanship for Labor Committee. And so we are eager to hear a lot of these issues relating to workforce development, paid family leave, as well as a number of more technical labor issues relating to collective bargaining. For the Majority Caucus, we are keen on introducing a number of legislation for our packages relating to affordable housing for workforce, the additional appropriations to Kahala initiatives, expanding pre-K classrooms, as well as expediting the licensure for pre-K teachers to fill these classrooms, expanding internship and apprenticeship opportunities for state and for public and private organizations, as well as improving Hawaii's food security through farm to school, farm to family programs across the state. For myself, I just wanted to note my new office staff. Obviously, we have Evelyn, who has been my office manager for the past 5 years, Sam Kim, who is my committee clerk, and Christine, who is my legislative aide. So you'll be communicating with Christine a lot if you do call my office or email our office. We think we have a great staff this year to tackle a lot of these serious issues facing our state. But with that, I think for my personal legislative package for our district, we've had a number of squatting issues in Palolo Valley as well as St. Louis Heights. There may be some in Kaimuki as well that haven't been reported. So we are introducing 2 pieces of legislation to crack down and perhaps make it more streamlined for the necessary law enforcement officers to evict illegal squatters from private property, as well as to hold squatters accountable for any property damages that they had been responsible for. So these laws were inspired and taken from, I believe, the state of Florida. We also have legislation relating to driver safety, specifically with mopeds. Previously, I had introduced a bill about moped insurance. This year, we also have something about helmet safety. I believe we're increasing the age to 18 years old for those who have to wear a helmet while riding a moped. So again, these legislations will be under consideration. Whether they pass or not, we'll see. But if you have any questions or concerns regarding to the legislative process, with regarding to issues and policy, feel free to contact my office. I believe it's readily available online. And of course, I always come to the neighborhood board, so you could always talk to me here. With that, I'm available for questions.
All right. Thank you very much, Representative. Any questions for Representative Sayama, online or in person? All right. If not, thank you very much, Representative.
Thank you, Chair.
We do appreciate you coming in person as well. Appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Next up is Congressman Ed Keese or his representative. Any representative for Congressman Keese? All right. Seeing. Oh, I'm sorry, Representative. Go ahead.
Everyone in the room, there's some handouts, resources about fraud prevention, quota care, disaster preparedness table.
All right. Thank you. All right. So we will move on. Thank you, everyone, for your reports. We'll move on to announcements. The announcement is registration to be a candidate for the 2025-2027 Neighborhood Board term closes on Friday, February 21st at 4:30 p.m. So all board members are up for election, and anyone interested in serving as a board member should register to be a candidate for the Neighborhood Board elections. The link for that is on the agenda and online, Jeffrey. Oh, okay. Sure. We can go back up to Representative Grandinetti. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I couldn't join you in person today. Just
Not a
had a
problem.
big day at
We
opening
appreciate
day.
it. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much. I do have a little bit to report. I wanted to share my committee assignments. I am vice chair of transportation, and I'm also on the housing and finance committees. I'm also serving as co-convener to the Working Families Caucus, and we just decided on our bill package. Paid family leave is going to be a priority for us as well, and we're really excited to work with Representative Sayama. We're also introducing bills around the child tax credit, child care access, and expanding the accreditation for preschool open doors, increasing access to SNAP, and then also introducing a bill to prevent gouging in our rental market, price gouging in our rental market. My personal bill package is really trying to hone in on my subject matter committees. So I'm focusing a lot on housing and transportation issues. I have, everyone here knows that housing policy is a big passion of mine. I have a lot to learn in the areas of transportation as well. And I'll be sharing a lot more about my individual bills in my upcoming newsletter. My staff is exhausted today. We had a really big day at our at the Capitol, but I am really excited to bring them back in February. I have an awesome office manager. Her name is Emily, and she'll be your point person when you call my office. She is pursuing her master's in environmental sustainability and engineering, but she has a background in journalism and is joining my team from her last position as a digital producer at Hawaii News Now. And then we have Keao, who's our policy researcher during this session. He's a recent law school grad. He's going to make sure I'm up to speed on all of the more complex policy issues that come across my desk. And then my committee clerk is Sam Peck, who previously worked in the office of Senator Shimabukuro. So I'm really excited for you all to meet them. And again, I'm sorry I wasn't able to join in person today, but yeah, Thanks. Thanks.
Yep, not a problem. Thank you so much for coming out and giving your report. Any questions for Representative Grandinetti? Online or in person? All right, if not, thank you again for coming out and good luck with the session. Appreciate it. Okay, so we'll jump back. Any other announcements for the board? Okay, seeing none. We'll move on to board business. Approval of the September 18th, October 16th, and November 20th, 2024 written summaries of video record. I believe there's a couple of issues with those draft minutes online, which will be resolved. So we're going to. Okay, yeah, that'd be terrific. Thanks, Jeffrey. So the board members will receive the minutes for those months so we can approve them next month. So we'll defer that. Okay, next item of board business, establishment of Kaimuki Neighborhood Board Number 4 Transportation Committee and appointment of committee members. So the board has been faced lately with a number of transportation issues, including the Aloha bus issue, and there's a couple of other things that have passed by recently. So I thought it'd be a good idea to have a transportation committee for the board. And so we're looking for members of that committee. My understanding, Audrey, you're willing to serve as a member of that committee. Okay. Anyone else interested and willing to serve on our transportation committee, in person or online? Okay, James. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that can be coordinated, I think. Yeah. Okay. So any other volunteers for our transportation committee? Okay. Seeing none, so we will have Audrey and James be on the committee, and I'll let you folks decide who can be chair of that committee or co-chair of the committee. They're pointing at each other, so they'll work it out, I'm sure. And you'll let us know. Okay. So thank you for volunteering. First item of business is likely coordinating with the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board Transportation Committee. They're interested in meeting on the Aloha bus issue as well. So something to think about as you go forward. So appreciate it. Thank you very much for volunteering for that committee. Okay, so we're going to move on to reports. Reports of members' attendance at other meetings. Have members attended any other meetings to report on? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Last week, I attended the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board meeting, and yesterday I was at Waikiki. And one issue that came up in both meetings is that seems like the city through the DCC community, the one that Anton community service.
Was that Anton Kraki?
Yes. Mentioned he was at the Diamond Head board, and at the Waikiki board, one of the community members spoke about it and clarified what was just made in passing in the Diamond Head board. It seems like one of the Honu homeless shelter camps, it's going to be moving to the entrance of the Alawai golf course sometime soon, I imagine, where they clear out all the trucks and all the vehicles. So that's what I learned going to those meetings.
All right. Thank you, Franklin. Audrey?
Yes, thank you. I attended the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board meeting in December, a month ago, and it was regarding the Route 200, the bus route that's impacting Aloha. And we had the resolution presented, and we had very good response from the board. They're very supportive. They understood the issues, and they even had a lot of comments and examples that for themselves. And then Juanita can elaborate more. She did a presentation. She had the the pictures and post boards, and so her and Leilani, but she's here today to explain more.
Yes, first of all, I would like to thank this board and Chairman Brian and all of the members, especially Audrey, for supporting the resolution and passing it here in the Kaimuki board. It also passed in the Diamond Head board overwhelmingly. Many residents expressed their concern about the loss of the old Route 9 that went through our neighborhood and which has now been replaced by the Aloha route on the perimeter of our neighborhood. And so I'm glad to see here a representative from the Kaimuki Business and Professional Association, because what we notice in the analysis of the new routing, that it's actually routing the residents of Palolo Valley as well as our Kaimuki residents away from Kaimuki town. So there's no direct routing through our buses now for Kaimuki residents, which many people feel is a great loss. And so the other thing is that we also met with the Palolo board. And even though they are not directly affected by the Aloha route, they're very concerned about the routing of the bus. And so they would also we're also going to be meeting with them because they have a recess this month. And so I'd like to thank also the mayor's office for supporting a meeting through the traffic committee with the Diamond Head board. And by the way, they're also asking residents to join that committee. So it's open also to the residents. And also that there will be a meeting scheduled with DTS and the bus company to discuss the routing or rerouting. So the mayor's office is very much in support of coming out with a resolution that would serve their department as well, the buses as well as the residents. So thank you very much for your support.
All right, thank you very much. All right, any other reports of other meetings from members? All right, seeing none. The next meeting of this board is Wednesday, February 19th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. right here at the Kaimuki Library and via WebEx. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thanks very much, everybody.